Hey guys, how you doing? Thank you very much for joining me on another video. I really appreciate it. Geez, it's been a while, hasn't it? Combination of a long lockdown and a busy job and busy life have conspired against me, and I haven't been able to get out here as much as I would like. I'm out in the awesome Aussie bush and it is great to be back. Even though it's really hot and humid, you can probably see I'm covered in sweat and the flies are driving me completely mad, but it is beautiful to be here. The bush is looking absolutely gorgeous after all this rain that we've had recently. There are wildflowers everywhere. It's incredible. You can probably see behind me there's a little bit of weather moving in. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this goes. I'm up on the Sandstone Plateau today. And I'm above my favourite gorge where I do lots of walking. And yeah, it's funny how places kind of endear themselves to you. So whilst the gorge started out being my favourite place, and I always have to kind of go there pretty regularly to get my fix, this plateau country once was country that I walked through to get to the gorge. It's now kind of doing the same thing where I want to come back here and explore it. And yeah, I'm really glad I have. So the plan for today is to see if I can find a new way into the gorge. There's a number of creeks that come off this plateau. And there's one that I've got my eye on that I've walked past a couple of times, and particularly down in the gorge there's a beautiful little waterfall which I've often looked up and wondered if it's possible to get through there. So this is a bit of a recce, doing a bit of reconnaissance to see if I can find a new way into the gorge, and I think given the weather behind me, you can probably see there's a storm rolling in. I think the plan will be probably to pitch up on top of the escarpment and look into the gorge if I can, but yeah, should be a bit of an adventure. So good to be back. So I've been walking for a couple of hours and yeah, probably covered about 3 or 4 kilometers in that time. I've been really just taking my time, enjoying the countryside and being out and about again. Yeah, I've put a couple of kilos on during lockdown and feeling very unfit, so it's nice to put a heavy pack on and start walking again. But yeah, it is so muggy today. It's really quite challenging. I've probably got another couple of kilometers to go until I reach the creek, and with that storm kind of making ominous sounds behind me, I'm going to try and make a bit of speed. So yeah, let's do this. Yeah, it is starting to look quite dark over there, so this could be very interesting. Probably fairly exposed up here in the plateau, so I might try and duck over this ridge, and at least then I'll be in a bit of a valley. So yeah, I think that might be a bit of a plan. Okay, I just got a little bit of phone reception, so I got a quick weather update, and yeah, it looks like there is a bit of a storm brewing and moving in pretty much exactly straight for me. So yeah, it doesn't look too bad from here, but there's probably going to be a fair bit of rain. So yeah, I'm going to duck around the corner that way, and yeah, hopefully find a little bit of shelter. Alrighty, I've rounded the ridge and I'm heading into that valley that I mentioned previously. The temperature's definitely dropped and I can feel the wind picking up. You can probably hear it a little bit actually. So yeah, I'm just walking to try and find options, and I reckon I might have found a little overhang. It's still about 2 k's from my objective, so I'm not super excited to pull up stumps, but yeah, we got smashed by a big severe hailstorm a couple of weeks ago at home, and I'm a little bit nervous. But yeah, have a look at this awesome little overhang. So I could squeeze in there, no worries. I reckon I'd be reasonably protected. And actually that one's probably even better. That is shelter, not a bad spot to wait out a storm. I reckon the storm's at least a good half hour to an hour away. So I'm in 2 minds. Like, this is an awesome piece of shelter. I'm not going to find anything better. But I'm also still probably a good hour or so, a good hour and a half walk from my objective. So what I might do actually is I'm getting pretty hungry. I might make some lunch and see what happens, and we'll take it from there. I'll tell you what though, if worst came to worst, this wouldn't be such a bad place to camp. Got a nice view, got a roof over my head. Not too bad. This is a really cool spot. This overhang is a little roomier in terms of height, so I've got a little bit more space there. The floor is a little damper, and there is some veg there, so it doesn't feel quite as nice as the other one behind me. But it might offer a little bit more protection because of the sort of bushes growing in front of it. I don't know. Gotta say, this is a pretty awesome find. I'm out in the middle of nowhere. It's just an overhang basically in the sandstone escarpment, and you know, there's a nice flat bit of ground above me. It's pretty much just head height, and that's the next level of the ground. So yeah, I might I don't know, we'll see how lunch goes, but this is a pretty sweet spot. So yeah, you can see this really is just a bit of a blip in the landscape. There isn't a lot here. So there's just this one little sort of outcrop of sandstone, and it's been weathered away, and might provide me a nice little bit of shelter. Okay, yeah, so this is the top of the overhang. My bag is literally just down there. This is really cool. And have a look at the view. It's not too bad up here. Unfortunately, the wind is picking up, so apologies if there is a bit of noise on the camera. Okay, you can see it's definitely getting darker. Yeah, I am super stoked that I found this little overhang. It's a good little spot, and that sky is looking pretty dark, and the radar was looking pretty scary. So yeah, gonna hunker down here and chill out for a bit. Just in case I do end up camping here, which I have to say is looking probably more and more likely. I have just got a bunch of kindling stacked under here, so if I do stay here and want to have a fire, I've got some dry wood, because I reckon everything's about to be soaked. So the storm looks like it's coming directly for me from that direction. So yeah, I don't know, I might get a fair bit of rain coming in, but I'm hoping I'm kind of low enough here that I should get a reasonable amount of shelter, and at least if it's hailing or something like that, I'm going to get protection. So yeah, this is going to be a good show, I think. I'm kind of a little bit mesmerised by the storm front and the sky approaching. I've got this beautiful outlook. Flowers, grass, I've got sort of a rolling landscape and some creeks below me. And then this wall of dark grey that's just coming straight for me. And yeah, I just saw some lightning. So yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting, I think. So I'm pretty stoked that I found this spot. I think I'm as safe as I can be. I'm ducked a little bit behind the ridge, so when I saw the storm first approaching and got my weather update, I was right up on top of the plateau. So I'm not on the top anymore. I'm a little bit down the side into a valley, and I've obviously got this big bit of sandstone over me. So yeah, fingers crossed I don't get too much coming in. The one thing I don't have is enough water, so if I do decide to camp here for the night, I'm going to have to duck down to the creek. It's probably, I don't know, maybe a 15-minute return trip. It's not heaps far, but I'm hoping I might actually be able to harvest some if it does start raining coming off the wall, so or the roof, I should say. So yeah, fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. So I've just come out of the overhang to give you a better look at the storm that's coming, and yeah, it's going to be a doozy, I reckon. I do have my GoPro set up on the top to do a bit of a time lapse, so hopefully that works. Yeah, have a look at that. The temperature's definitely dropped a number of degrees, which is nice because it was pretty warm. So you can see I only just only just fit under here. There are a few spots with higher ceiling, etc. But yeah, geez, it is getting very dark out there. Anyway, I'm gonna have a quick bite to eat. Oop, keep knocking a bit of the. Anyway, I'm gonna have a quick bite to eat. I'm gonna have some flatbread, a little bit of pork copper. I got some rocket, and I think I've even got some cheese in here somewhere. I'm just trying to eat my wrap, but you can see some pretty specky cloud formations coming pretty much towards me, and a lot of lightning, a lot of thunder, and it's getting pretty dark. So yeah, not gonna lie, I'd prefer it to be blue skies and sunny. Yeah, this is looking like a pretty big storm. Oh man. Wow, I've never seen anything like this. Oh, this is sketchy. It is a big front moving in, and lots of lightning. I've just had a look, and I'm probably a good 30 meters below the top of the crest, so hopefully not a target for lightning over here, but all right, it's gonna get hairy. Geez, it looks like just here is a pretty fast moving cell, and over here is one as well. Oh, get off the camera, fly! Far out. The flies absolutely love this lens for some reason. I don't know why. Come on. And that's my little shelter there. It's getting pretty dark, as you can see. Oh man. All right, time to get in there, under the shelter, I think. Calm before the storm, I believe they call this. It's a very dark and angry sky, so I can't see too much rain, but the radar looks like there was a lot of rain with the storm. So yeah, this is a bit of a waiting game now. I've been here probably close to an hour, and it's certainly almost here. So I've just organised my gear as best as possible. I've got my rain jacket out. I've put my sort of stuff against the back wall a little bit, so if there is a little bit of rain that comes in, hopefully things will stay relatively dry. It's interesting how these trips can take a turn sometimes. it could well be like kind of 8:30 at night. It's it's that dark. There's a lot of lightning. Got a few drops of rain, but I can now start to see rain kind of coming up through the valley. I just saw a lightning strike hit the mountain not very far from me, maybe 200 meters away. Oh, I'm starting to go, I can't stand up, so I can't have my rubber soles to the ground properly. I'm sitting on a piece of rubber, a piece of foam at least. This is sketchy. The rain's coming in now. So far so good. There's a little bit of breeze coming in, but not too bad. Oh man, I am right in the center of this little cell. I've seen 2 lightning strikes make that 3. 3 of them hit the ground. If I had not found this cave, this would be very sketchy. So basically the land in front of me is turning into a swamp. The whole land is flowing. It's incredible. Oh man, what the absolute... This is incredible. I'm here in the middle of a thunderstorm. I'm actually pretty dry. I'm pretty dirty because I'm sitting on the ground and bloody water coming everywhere. But I'm actually pretty dry. Oh, all right, looks like that particular line of storms has blown over, thankfully. Wow, that was a hell of a ride. I saw at least 3 different bolts of lightning strike the ground, or if not the ground, very close to the ground, all within a couple of hundred meters of where I'm sitting, or maybe 500 meters or so. But yeah, wow. I've stayed dry. I'm pretty dirty under here because I'm a little bit wet and there's all dust and sand under here, but I'm safe, and that's the main thing. So I've just I've got a little bit of phone reception here, so I've just let my partner know that I'm okay and everything's good. She was watching the storms roll in on the radar and was very concerned. So it looks like it's clearing up, but word is there is another line of storms coming through. So I think the safest thing to do now is to basically stay here the night. I'm not sure. It's just gone 3:15, so that storm felt like hours, but it only kind of lasted probably maybe 15 minutes of sort of intense rain. Whew, that was an experience. I genuinely just am stoked. I'm not actually that close to a creek line. The chances of finding an overhang out in the open is pretty rare. So to waltz around the corner and find one is pretty awesome. So yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to sleep in the overhang tonight. I've got many hours before I need to make that decision, but I've already seen a few spiders move in and start building their own homes after the rains come in. So I'm certainly not alone in here. But yeah, pretty lucky. Alrighty, welcome back. I've just taken a good half hour to decompress after that little event, and I've just got my stuff organised here. I'm actually getting quite peckish, and so I think I might cook up some noodles. Now, although I haven't been on a camping trip recently, I have been on a bit of a gear acquisition adventure, and so I have got some nice new titanium cookware from Tier Gear. So it's a set of Avenue titanium cookware, and I've essentially got 3 different cups that nest really nicely together. Got a little lid, and yeah, I reckon this is probably about the same weight, all 3 combined, as my previous pot. So yeah, pretty happy with this. So I haven't used it yet in terms of cooking, so I think I feel like some 2-minute noodles. So I reckon it's time to fire up the stove and get some noodles on. These this titanium stuff's amazing. Really nice. So yeah, you can pick this up at Tier Gear. They're a small sort of boutique manufacturer of. I've got a undercoat from them. It's really awesome. They do hammocks and that kind of stuff too. So, but they're starting to move into more of the sort of camping gear as well that they retail, and they've got a nice range of their new stuff, and it's pretty reasonably priced. So yeah, go check out a great Aussie business. I'm not sponsored. I'm not sponsored by them. I'm not sponsored by anyone. But yeah, I just like I like what they do, and I like their service. So there you go. So I've managed to harvest 5 litres of water. I just had a really big drink, and yeah, the water that came off the roof essentially of this overhang, it's pretty dirty, so there's a fair bit of stuff that's washed off the ground. So I'm just filtering it through my Be-Free, and it tastes pretty good actually. I just had a nice big drink. Got an old packet of chicken curry noodles. I've carried them around probably on a number of trips and haven't eaten them, so today is the day. So I just had another weather update too, and it looks like that second line of storms is tracking a little to the north. So I might actually get away with it. So yeah, fingers crossed. I could do without that amount of rain again. That is for sure. We'll see. It's you can probably hear the thunder in the background. It's pretty thundery still. And it's still raining, although very lightly, which is very good. Alright, just going to give these a little hit. Woo! Oh yeah, scares me every time. This is actually one of my favourite bits of outdoor kit. I picked up a couple of these off eBay years ago for like $7.50 each or something. It's a titanium spork by Keith. Super lightweight, super strong, and it's even got a bottle opener, so you know, what more could you want? So I'm just going to let the noodles sit there. Not a bad spot, not a bad spot at all. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to sleep here or not. It's not very big here, so it's good for shelter, it's good for staying safe in storms, but I don't know how comfortable it's going to be in the long term, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I do have the tent with me, so there are plenty of nice spots for tents, and if it does fine up a bit later on, I wouldn't mind trying to have a fire outside. Been tucked up here for the last couple of hours. I think the storm hit properly, like the rain, the really intense rain, at about 3. It's now gone just about 5. It's still raining. Apparently the storm, the second line of storms has gone to the north, so I don't think that's gonna hit me. So yeah, I'm just contemplating what to do. I think I'd prefer to sleep in the tent. There's an awesome spot right above the overhang here, but it's still raining, so I've got a feeling it might blow over in another hour or so. So yeah, I might hang tight. I might actually just spread out here and lie down on the ground, because I can't really stretch out too much in here. And yeah, I might read my book or something for a bit. Well, hello again. It's just gone 6:30, and the good news is it's pretty much stopped raining. There's a small amount of drizzle, but it's pretty good. There's an amazing set of clouds actually bouncing around kind of inside the creek, and I'm just able to watch them kind of drift around up the top here. It's really cool. I think because it's stopped raining, and even though the forecast is still very much for there to be some storms and further rain tonight. I'm going to try and take the opportunity to get a fire started and cook some dinner. So I did find a little clear spot, and I dug a little hole into the sand, and it's filled with water, so that that's kind of out. You can kind of see just how wet everything is. It's really tricky. It's just that kind of constant drizzle. So we'll see how this goes. I've got my trusty fire starters. These are the cotton makeup remover pads dipped in candle wax. They take a spark really, really nicely, and they should burn for a while too. So I've got a little layer of timber I've cut here, just to keep things off the ground. The outside of the timber's wet, but I'm actually going to go take one, but the inside is reasonably dry, so fingers crossed we can get a successful fire going here. So I'm just trying to break these firelighters up. Now for a still, or a fire still, I've got one of the new fire ants from, I think it's Tortoise is the company. It's essentially a small little ferro rod that clips in or screws into the corkscrew. So we'll see how we go. Pretty well. Alright, now the beauty is that's going to burn for a little while. So I can take my time here and not rush it. Try not to lean over the fire too much. So I'm just going to start building it up with the dry stuff I've got. Everyone's got their way of doing this. You know by now that I'm not a overly organised fire person, but I reckon we might have a reasonable crack at this. So hopefully I've got the fire just under enough protection, but close enough to the edge that hopefully most of the smoke goes up. Well, it's starting to rain again, unfortunately. So I'm glad I've got the fire into some shelter. Unless we get really heavy rain, it should be good. Yeah, I'm glad I didn't build it inside the overhang that I'm currently staying in, because it's pretty unpleasant back where the camera is. It's pretty warm and yeah, quite smoky. So hopefully it's just light rain and I can just relax here a bit. This has been really tricky to try and sequence this between the rain and the different bloody overhangs. But I've got some really nice sausages, so I just want to cook them over the coals. Kind of feels appropriate. Time for a beer. Cheers everyone. Sorry, you guys are in the cave and I can't be bothered going in there and changing the angle, so I'll just cheers you. So it's been quite some time since we last spoke. As you can see, I'm still here in the overhang. I think by now it's just gone 9 o'clock. I've been on the go since 6 a.m. and yeah, I think I'm going to stay in here tonight. But yeah, I've cooked some dinner. So I've got this very cool little snap fold bowl from Fossil. Bought it from Tier Gear as well, and I've got my titanium gear. Essentially, it folds down flat and then it buckles together as a bowl. So I'm going to give that a crack tonight. I think first I'm going to do a little bit of mash. A little bit of broccolini. And a couple of snags. A little bit of pepper. And just a little bit of salt. Alright, there you go. Got bangers and mash, and I am pretty excited about it. Alright, well, this is hard enough to film and cook and eat in such a small space, but yeah, I'm going to enjoy this, and I'll get back to you guys in a bit later. I'm absolutely buggered. It's gone well past 10 o'clock, so I'm going to crawl into my sleeping bag. I've just got it set up, and yeah, looking forward to a good night's sleep, hopefully. I've rigged up the tent inner, and I've actually got my camera tripod at the other end, and I've just got a little bit of paracord to some clips, and that way hopefully it's going to keep it off my face. I've got my sleeping pad in there. I've got a new Cedar Summit sleeping pad that I'm trying out tonight, and my sleeping bag, just a light summer one. So yeah, I'm hoping that'll do the job. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think it'll be tricky to get this to work, but I'm pretty tired, so yeah, we'll see you guys in the morning. It's just gone 7 o'clock and it looks like a relatively clear day outside, which is really good. There's a little bit of cloud cover still, but I can see some blue sky in the background behind the camera, so that's a really good thing. Yeah, I'm really glad I had this tent inner set up. It wasn't easy and I couldn't really get the setup fine-tuned, but I woke up to an absolute cloud of mosquitoes this morning, so yeah, I was really relieved of that, and it looks like a spider's kind of woven its web right behind where I was sleeping too, so I think that was a good move. This would have to be one of my favourite parts of these trips. It's that first coffee in the morning. Just admiring being here and looking at the view, and yeah, it's pretty good. Might have a few coffees, sit up here and enjoy the view, and then probably make my way back to the car. But yeah, I'll have to save that creek for another day and come out and explore it again. So you can kind of see the lay of the land, where there's a few quite deep creek systems form up pretty quickly, and so right behind me would be the headwaters. So I don't know, maybe another 60 or 70 meters, and then pretty much almost straight away they feed into these really quite deep creeks. Alrighty, so everything is packed up, and yeah, you can see I've just left the overhang as I found it. it's been a good place for shelter. So yeah, enjoyed this one. I've done a final check around camp. I haven't left anything behind, and yeah, nothing for it but to start walking. So yeah, let's do it. So there's certainly a bit of water about. It's kind of like walking in a swamp. Fortunately the sand here isn't very deep, so there's a small layer of sand on top of the sandstone. That's where all this veg grows in, but yeah, it's like a sponge at the moment. It's kind of pretty soggy. So I've been walking for about 45 minutes, and other than it being soggy, the walking's pretty straightforward. So I think I'm going to leave the video here. It's been great to get outside again, great to go camping, and even though it wasn't the trip that I had planned, yeah, I had a good time, and it was certainly a heck of an experience. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it at home. Hopefully the next video is not going to be so far away, and I can get out a bit more regularly than I did last year. I think I only managed 3 trips last year, so it's a very lean year for me. Yeah. Hoping for much bigger and better things bush time wise anyway in 2022. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave those below. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Thanks very much, everyone. Cheers.